Hey, what's going on, guys? Rob with 3STRONG. Today I want to show you a drill that is going to get you to understand the feeling of fully contracting your glutes. Why do we need to do this little drill? Well, this can make a big difference in your squat, in your lunges, in your deadlift, kettlebell swings, jumping, any one of those lower body movements. Well, it can even help your running. Learning how to activate your glutes, essentially the biggest muscle in your lower body, strongest, most powerful muscle in your lower body, is going to help get the most out of each one of those lower body exercises. Plus, it's going to protect your back. If we focus on the pelvis here, the pelvic region, we essentially have our spine attaches into our pelvis. Our glutes attach into that pelvis, but then we have our lower back muscles which sit right on top. This is where things can go wrong. If I'm doing a squat, if I'm doing a deadlift, if I'm doing kettlebell swings, and I don't completely contract my glutes to get into this upright position, notice how my butt, there's this little break here. This is vertical. This is not vertical here. I have this little break in the hips. My hips haven't completely extended yet. For me to get into this upright position, so if I'm doing a deadlift and I get up, my lower back has to arch to get into that position, right? Next thing, if I'm doing kettlebell swings, I have to arch to get into that position because my glutes haven't finished it off. If I'm doing a squat and I don't finish off with the hips, notice how that weight is pushing down my lower back. I have that arched. What if I activated my glutes and contracted my glutes a little bit harder? Notice how the position changes for each one of those exercises. If I'm doing that deadlift, instead of finishing here, I finish here. That's much straighter. My back is nice and solid and stacked vertically. If I'm doing a squat and I come up, I finish off with the glutes. That extra little movement there helps to stack myself vertically and be in a much safer and actually a position that has less tension. And then if I'm doing those kettlebell swings, I finish off in that nice, tight, vertical position here. Let me show you the drill. This is going to get, this simple little drill is going to give you the feeling of those hamstrings and those glutes firing. And it's going to help to relieve some of the pressure on that lower back if you are feeling that. I actually had a client today who was feeling kettlebell swings in his back. We made this little shift, got his glutes firing, and it was a completely different exercise. He said, wow, I'm not feeling it in my back at all now. It's all in my legs. And that's a good thing because he was doing those kettlebell swings. He was getting a lot more power. Okay, you're going to lie down on your back. Those feet are going to be planted firmly into the ground. And from here, you're going to push straight down into the ground with those heels. And the next thing you're going to do is push your hips up towards the ceiling. But before we do that, you're going to flatten your lower back out. If we're sitting here, it's easy for the pelvis to kind of roll forward and those abs are loose. What we want to do is roll the pelvis back, pull those abs in nice and tight, keep that locked in. And like I said, push those feet into the ground and drive your hips up towards the ceiling. You are not going to lose the tension in the abs. Do not lose that. The second you lose that, that butt kicks down and that lower back takes the load. Not what we want. So squeeze the abs, keep it nice and tight, and now that butt is incredibly solid. Push the feet down, drive the hips up towards the ceiling, and hold that position. The reason we want to hold this position is then we get an awareness of what muscles are contracting. If we're sitting here holding this and our lower back is just burning, we know that we're doing it wrong. you really want to get this feeling of your glutes, the back of your legs, the hamstrings. Those muscles are going to start to burn a little bit. That's the feeling we're looking for. Okay, that's 2 legs. Now, you're going to switch it up. You're going to do a single leg. You're going to hug one knee into your chest. Now, again, push with that one foot's going to be jammed into the ground, push straight down, drive those hips up into the ceiling. And we're just going to hold this one. Again, really try to squeeze your butt as tight as you can. Remember that feeling. Remember what's going on. Take note of that. We're going to switch legs, drive straight up, hold that again. Take a mental note of what muscles are contracting. Once we've done that, I want you to hold that for about 30, 45 seconds, a minute, whatever it takes to feel those muscles working. And then once we get back up, try to replicate that. Try to squeeze those hips. Essentially, we're pushing into the ground and we're driving those hips forward. Not your belly button. That's going to force you to arch. Your hips. Push those hips forward. And that is that full contraction of the glutes that we're looking for. Then apply that to your deadlifts. Apply that to your squats. Apply that to any one of your lower body movements. It will feel completely different. If you ever have issues really feeling the hips working during any one of those lower body movements, try that drill. Remember that feeling, remember that burn. Try to replicate it on your feet and then apply it in whatever exercise you're going to do. All right? See you next time. Get those glutes firing, baby. Let's do it.